Welcome back to the Dice Tower. We wish we were in 3D.
Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of videos about games and the people who played them. And now, here are your hosts, Tom and Holly Vasel.
Welcome to the Dice Tower!
And welcome to the Dice Tower. Hopefully we will put them out with a little bit more progression in the future. This past month, in fact just a couple days ago, the 6th Vasel girl was born, Ruby Rose. And so now there are 6 girls in our family, and Holly is number 3 of those girls. So that's kept us a little busy, also with computers crashing. But thanks to a fundraiser, I'd like to thank all of you who donated to us, able to get a new computer, and I was also able to get a new video camera. And so we're glad that you're with us today. It's been a while since we've been here, so today I want to talk about something I did recently. I went on a trip to Malaysia with the senior class of the school that I teach at, and I like going on a senior trip. They're a lot of fun to go on, but I was a little concerned as to, what do you do at night when things are boring? Well, of course, what's my answer for that? Board games. So let me show you the 4 board games that I brought, and then I'll explain why I brought each of those. The first of those is No Thanks. No Thanks is a simple game of chips and a pile of cards. The cards are numbered from 3 to 35. Each player gets 11 chips. On a player's turn, they turn over the top card of the deck. If they want to keep the card, they simply take the card. If they don't want to keep the card, they put a chip on it. Now, you don't want to keep these cards. You don't want 19 points, but at the same time, after a while, there'll be so many chips on it that you want to take it just to get those chips. Because chips are worth 2 things. At the end of the game, they're worth -1 points. Also, they stop you from taking cards. Because if you have no chips to put on a card, then you have to take it. Also, there's some neat things that if you have 19 already, and then later on you get 18, you can put the 18 on top of the 19, and you don't have 37 points, instead you only have 18 points. So there's a bit of bluffing, there's a bit of pushing your luck, and knowing when you're going to run out of chips. It's a lot of fun for 2 to 5 players. No Thanks is one of those games that, even though it only works with 5 players, I still brought it because you can get 2 to 5 players, or 3 to 5 players together, and they're constantly just playing it again and again and again because you want to see how far you can push it. You want to see if you can beat your score from next time. It's just a lot of fun to bring this game along. The second game I brought was 6 Takes, although this has been re-released as Category 5. 6 Take has a whole pile of cards in it, and each of those cards shows a number. And the numbers, there's a very wide range in them, and it also shows a certain number of bulls on those cards. Each player gets 10 cards in their hand to start the game, and then 4 cards are randomly placed next to the table. There's 10 turns in each game, and players simply pick any card they want from their hand, play it face down in the middle of the table. All these cards are then turned face up, and you just sort them, and you start with the lowest number first. Let's say I pulled 50 here. 50 comes after the 16, the 32, and the 40. It doesn't come after the 77, so it goes after the highest number that it can come after, which is the 40. Then the 66 comes after the 50, the 74 comes after the 66, and the 75 comes after the 74. All 4 of those numbers came after the same one. Now, for example, if someone else had been playing the game and they played the 86, that would go after the 77 here. But if you play a card and it goes and it's the 6th card in a row, then that 6th card becomes the first card in a row, and the person who played that card gets all 5 of these other cards, and they must take them for points at the end of the game. Points are equal to the number of bulls on the card. And there's a few other rules in how you place it, but it's very simple, and it keeps going until players have played all 10 of their cards. One of the draws to 6 Take is the fact that even though it can take up to 10 people, and even though there's some maneuvering with the numbers, I mean, okay, I guess it's a plus that it can take up to 10 people, but really, someone can not know what they're doing and still do okay. They can just throw down a random card, and some people actually have complained about that, but it's a lot of fun as you try to figure out when the best time to play each card is and try and get as few points as possible. You can play multiple rounds, and because it takes 10 people, this was a good one for me to bring on the trip. The third game is Street Paintball. These rubber balls here are the mainstays of street paintball. Each player has one of those put in front of him. Then the game is very simple. Each turn of the game, you turn over a card. If this card happens to match a player's color, for example, this one matches the green, then everybody must grab their ball and physically throw it at the person who is the green player. The green player is trying to grab as many balls as possible to stop people from throwing the balls at him. Different cards mean different things. For example, this may look like a red player, but you cannot see any gun. He's just an innocent bystander who happens to be wearing paint goggles. And there's cards that require duels against certain people, cards that mean player drops their gun. But it's a lot of fun as players are simply trying to throw cards at each other. If you get hit by one, or, if you basically break one of the rules of the game, then you take one of these paintball players that you have in front of you and you discard it. Once all the paintball players in front of you are discarded, you're out of the game. You keep going till there's only 2 people left in the game, and when that happens, whichever one of those players has more paintball people in front of him wins the game. The allure to street paintball is the fact that you actually can throw the paintballs at one another. Now, they're not really that hard, but they're hard enough that you actually feel them when you throw them. See, she won't even throw the paintball at me. But well, thank you. But really, I mean, that's the fun of the game. It's really dumb. You turn over a card, and then players are grabbing the paintballs. Throw it. Oh, I wasn't supposed to touch a paintball at all that time. And it's kind of this, will you grab it? Will you throw it? When are you going to get the next person? And so it's a lot of fun to do it in that sort of way. And because it's silly and stupid, I don't know, I like it quite a bit. Are you trying to hit me again? Huh. And the fourth game, and finally the last game I brought is Ultimate Werewolf. The basic gist of an Are You a Werewolf game is, are you a villager or are you a werewolf? You're one of the two. And these cards are handed out secretly before the beginning of the game. Each night the werewolves secretly will raise their heads and confer with one another and kill off a villager. Each day, everybody, the villagers and werewolves included, try to figure out who the werewolves are using psychological clues, subtle context, and how they talk, and so on and so forth, and they lynch someone, killing them. Now, the reason I like Ultimate Werewolf is because it adds a whole lot more to the mix. You have the idiot who always votes that the people are guilty. You can put in a whole ton of werewolves. You have the old hag who kicks someone out of the game. Some of you who are watching this may know this game as Mafia. This is the best version of it that I've seen. I've talked about this many, many times in the past. I've talked about this on my audio show. I've talked about it in the video show. Ultimate Werewolf is just one of those games that just keeps coming out time and time again. With the Ultimate Werewolf, you can cover up to 50 people at one time, but it's best with 12 to 17 people, I find, which was about the amount of people that I had. Ultimate Werewolf is a game that is requested time and time again. It needs a moderator, someone who doesn't play, but it's still a lot of fun for me, and so this is one that I always bring with me. There are other games that I bring along with me. These are the 4 that I happen to take on this last trip, but these are 4 that I would often bring with me, because all 4 of these have that just late-night mentality. Something that's a lot of fun. Werewolf, the spookiness of who is the werewolf. Street Paintball, the throwing balls at each other, the zaniness. And No Thanks and Six Take, just games that you can throw a card down and kind of take it easy playing with other people. Excellent choices, if I may say so myself. But, I mean, really, it's not me. It's just that these are really good games to bring along. And I recommend that if you're traveling with a group of people, these are good choices for you. Well, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this is Holly. This is Holly. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.